Hey guys, we're into October, it is cooling down, and so I am down on the allotment today to get some of my first spring bulbs in the ground, and I am starting with Freesia. For any of you that don't know, my name is Peggy and I am growing a cut flower garden here on my allotment in Kanagawa Prefecture, Japan, which is just south of Tokyo in USDA Zone 9B. Thanks for checking out my channel. So if you've been following along, you'll know that I grew Freesia last year and I absolutely loved them. Out of all of the spring flower, I think Freesia were possibly my favourites. The smell of the Freesia is so sweet and so nice, but it's not overpowering in the way that hyacinth or some of the daffodils like the Narcissus can be. And I really enjoyed them. They had a great vase life and the colours were absolutely beautiful. My only problem was I didn't have enough. I didn't know if I was going to get my allotment back until February, so I couldn't put any of my bulbs in the ground and I had to grow everything in containers in my tiny little garden at home. So I literally just had one little tray basically of Freesia, but they did really well, and so I wanted to grow more this year in the garden, and the benefit of that is that I don't have to dig them up at the end of this season, and this will be them coming back for me every year, which is great. So I'm going to put some in the garden today. The reason that I'm doing these first is because Freesia originate from the Cape area of South Africa, and they usually lie in the ground dormant through the hot summers, and then after the winter rains come, they come up really early in the spring. So they don't mind that the soil is still a bit hot. Mosquito. Because although the evenings and the mornings are getting cooler here, we're still in the high 20s during the day, so it is still quite hot a lot of the time. So I'm going to put them in the likes of my tulip. They hate being hot, so I'm not putting them in for a while yet, but my Freesia can go in the ground. Freesia do multiply, and so I'm hoping that because I can leave them in the ground now, I will be getting more year on year, but this wasn't necessarily the case with the ones that I grew last year. Now, I did dig up my bulbs from last year. Here they are, and I have them stored. And you can see I got some, but nowhere near what I planted. Now, I bought the same. These are my Freesia doubles, which are very pretty. But you can see how many bulbs you get in one of these. And these are my just normal single ones, and again, a lot. And I'm pretty sure last year I did 1 and 1 of each of these. And so that should be quite a lot of bulbs. These are one of the few bulbs you can buy in Japan where you actually get a lot of bulbs in with them. So I didn't get anywhere near as many as I planted, and I don't know if that's because during rainy season they maybe rotted away, if the winter was too cold, although we're very mild, it is zone 9B, or if they got eaten. A lot of stuff in my garden gets eaten, and I don't know if that's the case. So I don't have anywhere near as many as I planted, but the ones that I have are much bigger. You know, you can kind of see the size of these bulbs compared to that one. And this is starting to already multiply. It's got another little one coming off the side. And so I have quite a lot like that, bigger bulb with one starting to multiply off the side of them. And even the ones that are smaller, they're still substantially bigger than what I'm buying new in the pack. You know, they look much fatter and healthier. So I definitely have less bulbs than I put in the ground, but the ones that I have look really nice and big and healthy and are starting to give me new little side shoots. But I am going to do an experiment this year where I'm going to put all of my new bulbs at one end of the line, and then I'll have at one end of my row, and then I'll divide them and put my older bulbs at the other end and just see if there's a difference. If these older ones come through stronger because they're bigger bulbs, if I get more flowers off them because they've got the side shoots coming out, or if I'm getting better flowers off of these ones. It is starting to cool down here, but it is not cool enough to send the mosquitoes back to the hell from whence they came. So I do still have to put on my mosquito hat. And I'm going to get these in the ground. So although I was growing in containers last year, I did learn a few things. The first being I can plant these really close together. The foliage that comes up on these tends to be very straight and very compact, so they don't tend to overshadow each other at all. So I'm going to pack these in really close, but not too close because I do want the bulbs to divide over time and give me more. But I am going to plant them quite close together. The second thing is, if you watched my video, I actually did a video about growing Freesia last year, and the problem I was having was my Freesia tend to stretch towards the sun and get floppy and kind of fall down. The heads are very, very heavy, So I'm going to wait for these to come up a little bit so I can see exactly where the rows are, and then I'm going to kind of corral these. I'm not going to individually stake them, but I'm going to corral them much the way that I did last year, just to try and give them a little bit of support and get them coming up nice and straight on nice straight stems for me, because that's what I want for cut flowers. So I am going to have to put in a bit of support for these, but I'm not going to do that right now because I want to see where they're actually coming up, and then I'll support them before the flower heads come up, but when the leaves have started to come up on them. So bulbs close together, but with enough room to grow and in nice straight lines, so that when I do come to stake them, it will be easy for me to put a string line down to give them some kind of support. So I'm going to start with my singles. The general rule with bulbs is that you want to dig a hole twice as deep as the bulb is. So with these, I mean, they're quite small bulbs. With a Freesia, that's about 5 centimetres. So you want the top of the bulb to be about 5 centimetres underneath the soil. So I have just dug a trench, and I am going to put 7 bulbs along my trench. Next, doubles. You can't see. So as well as just the singles and doubles, I also splurged a little on a couple of really fancy looking ones. I got these kind of beautiful lavender colours, which are a double, which is a really pretty soft purple. But there's only 5 bulbs in there. And then I got this gorgeous kind of peachy one as well. And there's only 3 bulbs in that one. So I'm going to put them in a row of their own of like special ones. And I really hope these look lovely and that the bulbs divide quite well, so that I'll have more next year, or the year after next. And that means that I have 2 rows left to put in my bulbs that I grew at home, and I will know because these green sticks will mark where those ones start, so I can compare after my pretty ones how these ones do. That's all my big bulbs in, but I still have all of these little ones that I don't think will give me flowers this year, but they might develop more this year and give me flowers the following year. So I am going to add these just at the end of this row where I have some space. Just putting this in to mark where I finished planting those, because after that I'm going to have my anemone, so it lets me know where I can start planting my anemone bulbs. But I'm not putting them in yet because I am going to pre-sprout those at home first, so they won't be going in for another couple of weeks yet. But that's it, Freesia in the ground. And that's it, my first spring bulbs in the ground, and I'm really looking forward to it. I loved my Freesia so much last year. At the end of this video, I'll put up some pictures of my Freesia from last year and the arrangements that I made with them so that you can see those. And I'm just really looking forward to the smell of them again in the house. I said in my last video as well that weirdly 10% of the population can't actually smell Freesia due to genetics. I'm sorry if you're one of those people, because they smell lovely. But I'm really looking forward to having them in the garden. It's also really nice to be starting to think about spring, because the garden is getting tired. A lot of stuff's getting powdery mildew, they're just kind of slowing down, and I'm starting to battle with them a little bit. Things are getting too bushy and too overcrowded, and I'm just about ready to kind of rip everything out and start again for next year. But everything's not so bad. This is what I cut from the garden today. So I'm still getting zinnia, my dahlia are giving me the second flush that I was hoping for. My pink pokers have been giving me a second flush as well. My sapika is doing okay, although I am having a bit of a problem making these last well in the vase. They are dying off quite quickly. If you know how to make these last longer, please do let me know if there's any trick that I can do there. And my straw flower, which you can also see behind me, is doing really well as well, although they are very small. I'm hoping they're going to get a bit bigger because they've only just started to flower. So I am still getting stuff to take home. I am still getting stuff to play with. But I have learned that because the summer here is so hot, that really my spring is my golden time in this garden. The most beautiful and the most abundant flowers I got last year and that I enjoyed working with last year were my spring flowers. So you kind of have this idea as a flower grower that summer is going to be the big boost, you know, it's going to be when all the flowers come and you're going to have all this colour and all this beauty. And for me, the summer here is just too hot. Very few things can survive 40-degree heat every day and no rain, you know. I can't survive that. I spend most of my summer underneath the aircon, praying for a little bit of Scottish drizzle. So, you know, the garden does get tired quickly at this time of year. It does not like the heat, and so I am really focusing this year on getting my spring flowers right so that I can make the most of them, make them go as long as I possibly can. So I've done some other videos because I am also starting my seeds. I have got my snapdragon started, I have got my stock started, I have got my rudbeckia and my, what else have I put in? Achillea, and some of the other things that I had trouble growing last year, my echinacea, my scabious, I've started already. I've still got some other things that I am going to be starting in the next couple of weeks, just to make sure that come spring, this garden is full of flowers and ready to go. And the best thing about these is that they are bulbs. So in zone 9B, I can leave these in the ground and they're going to come back for me every year without me having to do any more work, which is great. So I'm excited about that. Today I also put in some daffodil, not very many, but a few daffodil I've put in there, and I put in some allium as well. So we are starting to get ready for the spring, and I can't wait. So if you want to follow along for the rest of the season, see what happens with these flowers, how quickly they come up, see me supporting mosquitoes everywhere. My God, when will they go away? When? Go away. If you want to see how these do, see how I support them when they come up to make sure that I do get nice straight stems, and see me seeding all the other stuff, remember to hit the subscribe button below. If you want to see what I do with all the flowers that I cut, you can check out my Instagram, which is From the Witch's Garden, and there is a link to that below this video as well. And I will see you guys next week. Bye!